Cool. We're live. Uh, there we go. Repost that. There we go. Hello. Hey. Sorry, I didn't realize that I had somebody actually on here. Wow. How are you? Let me adjust this a little bit. Right here. Still very much so morning here. Still very much so trying to wake up as well. Usually let me see if I have more people in here. You have access to this feature. Okay. All right. Follow likes. Well, if there's anybody else on here, hello. Really awesome to see you guys and have you here. I hope everyone's having a great start or ending to their Thanksgiving, depending on where they're located in the world. We are just getting started here. It is 10:08 in the morning. I'm still trying to wake myself up, and I'm recovering from eating too much ice cream last night. And my mom and my sister went to go see the Rockettes, and I hung back here and was working on a puzzle, and it was a lot of fun. And that's probably what I'm going to be doing the rest of this day. Taking a very nice, well needed break and rest from life and everything. We had one. Oh. Happy Thanksgiving to you too, River Dragon. Thank you so much for all your comments and your support on all the videos too. That really means a lot to me. It really, really does. 5 4 3 3. So it's 3:08 in the UK. That's crazy. The whole time difference just completely like boggles my mind, and the fact that there are people from all over the world watching this stuff is really, really, really cool. Now, do you guys do anything fun for Thanksgiving over there? Or I mean, granted, it's the UK. I mean, do you guys do anything on this day, or is it just a normal day for you guys? Well, then I'll just do. Wish it would let me see if there are more people on here. I'm still trying to get used to this, like, live thing. My battery's at 72%. No, it's all good. It's so this whole setup is just it's so funny. Thank you so much for being on here, Everdragon. You have no idea how much it means to me that I had somebody show up. I can't see if there's more people or not. Like the way that my screen is set up, I have like the live counter, and then I guess it has like a subscription thing for like people who subscribe during the live, and then like a thumbs up, like who's given a thumbs up. But it doesn't show me, like it doesn't show me who's on here, so I don't know who I'm talking to, it kinda makes it hard for having conversations, plus you go at the speed that people are typing and everything, and it's just really funny, this whole setup is really funny. I'm just really happy that this was able to work out, and, I was able to hop on here and make this work. I tried hopping on here, gosh, I wanna say probably a couple months ago, and I had to get permission in order to hop on here, and it wouldn't let me, and I don't know if it was because I didn't have enough subscribers at the time, but now I do apparently, and now I can be here. Now there's 2 thingies on here. Are there 2 people here? I hope you guys are getting a kick out of this because this is just really funny. It's one thing when I talk to myself and record because, like, I have a topic to talk about and I can just kinda go off on a tangent, I guess you could say, but because I'm here, there's no prompts, I don't know what to say. This is gonna take some getting used to, I feel. But if there is a second person on here, hello, second person. I hope you're doing fantastic wherever, whenever you are. I hope you're finding it hysterical too that I, like, have no idea what I'm doing right now. Hello. Hey there, friend. How are you? Oh, bye, Bailey. Cool. So we've got 2 friends here. This is exciting. I'm happy that everything's all good. Oh, this is awesome. If you celebrate Thanksgiving, I hope you are having a Thanksgiving or had a happy Thanksgiving, depending on where you are located. We're still, our day hasn't started yet. I'm still trying to wake up from my night. Let's see, what can I possibly talk about? I have come across this really awesome speaker. His name is Kyle Cease. I've seen you at San Diego. Oh, awesome. Hey, I'm wearing my San Diego hoodie. That's so funny. I love it when stuff like that works out. It's my favorite hoodie ever. San Diego, I miss California. I would like to go back so soon. Really hoping to be able to get the funding to be able to to fly back over there. California is just seriously such a beautiful state and so amazing. New Jersey's pretty cool too. But so I've been like on a roller coaster with myself, and there's this really awesome guy named Kyle Cease. He was actually a stand-up comic way back in like the mid 2000s, and he won a lot of awards. He was like the youngest comedian to have their own special on Comedy Central, I believe. And he now has switched over to inspirational comedy, and I've been listening to his stuff all day, like all yesterday, and I'm going to continue to listen to it all day today. And his stuff is very transformative. Like he talks a lot about meditation as well and being in the present moment. And I've kept getting myself more and more present, and it's really incredible what happens when you actually do become present. I was listening to one of his talks and I was walking with my dogs yesterday, and I love foxes. You guys know that I love foxes. And as I was walking around, my dog like lurched forward and was about to go like get something. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, stop it. And I looked over and a fox ran across the yard. And I was like, wow, that's amazing what happens when you are present. So, oh my goodness, his stuff has been amazing. I can't recommend Kyle Cease. His stuff is awesome. I'm gonna be talking about that soon because it's just been so like just so transformative and uplifting. But yeah, I hope you guys are having an amazing day. I hope you guys have a great day. Yeah. Like I was saying before, it's one thing when I have a prompt and I'm able to speak some things. It's a little different when it's live because I have no way of editing things out. So if I say something stupid, I I can't go back and delete it, or I can't change things around. But yeah, thank you guys again so much. I really appreciate you guys being here. It's all good. Thank you so much for stopping over. I can't thank you enough. I hope you have an amazing day. Thank you so much. Yes, likewise. It's great to hear from you as well. Thank you. Hey, we have another person. We've got three. I think I wish they would tell me, "Hello, hey there, friend." I wish they would tell me when, like, I had more people or if that was actually when people come on. How are you, friend? My goodness, my phone is going crazy too. Ah, we've got another friend. Oh my gosh, people are actually showing up to this. Wow, this is so cool. Ah, I'm so happy that you're great. If you don't mind me asking, where are you from? India, wow. That is awesome. Hello. Wow. It's so cool when I have people from other countries. I know I say this all the time. I was saying this to River Dragon before. It blows my mind that I've got friends all over the world pretty much that I'm able to interact and communicate with people from all over. It's such a cool feeling. It really is such a cool feeling. Thank you so much for coming on and saying hello. I appreciate that. I think we got another person on. It says 4. This is so awesome. Thank you to everybody and anybody who's hopped on here to say hello. It's pretty much me just talking to myself, being a little awkward for the first a little bit. If anybody has any questions or anything that they would want me to talk about, please feel free to put any questions or anything in there. It kind of helps for me to have a prompt to say stuff because if not, I'm just going to talk about random things. Um, what could I talk about? That's pretty good. So for me this year, it's Thanksgiving here in the US, and I am actually going to be hanging home this year. My mom and my sister are going to be going to a friend of theirs house, and I'm just going to be hanging back, hanging out with the dogs, probably working on a puzzle because I need some like time to mentally unwind a little bit. And we've got some really awesome food here, which I'm pretty excited about. I've been listening to, as I was kind of saying a little bit before, Kyle Cease. He's been completely blowing my mind and changing my life. He does oh gosh, transformational comedy. So he makes you laugh while also making you think about deep things. And one thing Dr. Joe talks a lot about is being in the present moment. And I've had a lot of aha moments with being present with, the programs that we tend to run in our brains, and we tend to react because you know how if something happens, we tend to react instantaneously and almost immediately. I know I do a lot, and it's been kind of more detrimental than helpful for me. And running old memories and running old programs, which you don't need. And he talks a lot about being able to stay and be in the present moment, and just to kind of keep forgiving and being this person of love every single time you have a memory or something come up. And the way in which he explains it is different, and it's funny, and it just made a huge impact with me, and it's just been really awesome watching his stuff. I'm most certainly going to be talking a lot more about it a little bit, once I've run out of videos. Um, what's I had some he was talking a lot about the space around the heart, which Dr. Joe I know talks a lot about too. And he says, like, view your problems from that space. And he talks a lot about money stuff too, and how we aren't this abundance, and how abundance is able to come to us when we stop identifying ourselves as being rich, being poor, all of these different limitations and all these different beliefs and everything. And again, the way in which he just explains it is amazing. He was doing an interview with, or he was talking, and he brought on a woman who needed rent money. Oh, ah, 1 second, guys. Chelsea, hello. Can I give you a call back in like an hour? Okay, awesome. I'm sorry, I'm doing a YouTube live video. Awesome. No, if you didn't know, it's okay. I'll talk to you a little bit. You give me back. Shush me, man. Sorry, guys. Shush. I had a friend of mine who I've reconnected with just gave me a shout, so it was really good to hear from her. But anyway, so he was talking to a woman who said that they really needed money, and they were like, and just desperate for rent money. And she had a dear God moment where she was like, dear God, like, I need all of this money. We've all kind of had one of those moments. I know I have. And out of nowhere, once she finally and fully surrendered, that's when all of this amazing abundance had come through for her. And I have had a moment like that too, kind of like a dear God moment. This was before the world shut down. I worked at a horse barn, and with the pandemic hitting, we were coming to the moments where I wasn't going to be able to teach lessons anymore. And that was my main source of income at the moment. I was working for a podcast, still am working for the podcast, the Positive Head podcast that I do the MP3 stuff for. Um, and it was, that's the only source of income that I had. And I had bought my car, and I had car payments that I needed to pay off. And I was like, I have no idea how this is going to come through, or how this is going to work, or how I'm going to manage to find, I think my car was $24,000. I had no idea how that was going to happen. And I had a dear God moment, and I was like, all right, well, I mean, something's got to give, something's got to come through. For me, the pandemic was the ultimate form of surrender, because I couldn't go out and go do anything. I'm a perfectionist. I have to handle everything matter to matter, which I've been working super hard on and not trying to do. Um, and I remember I took $300 and I gave it to my sister, who was in school and wasn't working at the time. And as my act of tithing, faith, knowing that I was going to be supported, I said, here's $300 because you need this. And I want to give because I'm an abundant person. And with the stuff that had happened through COVID, I wound up just somehow getting so much money and being able to pay off my car. And it's kind of like what the woman in the Kyle Cease video was saying too, how at the very last minute things came through and things had come through. And it's that feeling of just being abundance itself, and giving of your time. Giving of your time is so important. We tend to think that we need to give physical things, but our time and attention is some of our most valuable resources. Like, I'm hopping on here. I'm giving of my time, but I'm doing this because I want to be here, because I love this. I can't wait to keep building up this community. And thank you to the three people that are on here. I'm not sure if there's more or not, or if the counter updates accurately, but I can't thank you guys enough for your support and just keeping me going, and just everything that you guys have been doing for me too, as the support, the likes, the comments, the subscriptions. It's really cool how everything all comes together. Oh, thank you for the other like. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Sorry if I'm rambling. It's like I've been saying, it's kind of hard without a prompt. If anybody has any questions or anything that they would like me to talk about, please feel free to leave a comment in the chat. If not, I'm just going to keep rambling on about more stuff. I hope everybody is having a fantastic day. And I'm really excited that there's more people on here than I thought. I honestly thought that it was going to be crickets and that nobody was going to hop on here, but I've had quite a few people kind of fluctuate through here. So thank you guys so much again for taking the time to hop on, say hello. I know for you people in the US it's Thanksgiving, people are traveling. For anybody else wherever you are, however you are in the world, I hope you guys are doing awesome. How to be consistent in maintaining higher level through meditation? That is a great question. I'm taking a swig of lemon water. So are you referring to being able to feel the energy through meditation, like being able to feel like an out of body experience or connected to the higher self? Would you mind just kind of elaborating a little bit more on your question, if you wouldn't mind? I know for me with meditating, I tend to feel, hey, what's up, Tarek? How you doing? Sorry. With meditation, I tend to feel the energy around my body. And when I have okay, so when I have one of those like out of body experiences or mystical experiences, I have no idea when it's happening. It kind of just happens and it feels like I've been plugged into a socket and then all of a sudden I get thrown out of my body. I have found with me to have one of those mystical experiences that I have to be in a super sleepy, drowsy state. And I'm sure, Tarek, you've experienced this a time or two as well. If you want to chime in, I would love to hear what you have to say because we all experience things differently. And I know that everybody gives that answer, but we are all different and our bodies all function in different ways. When I want to have an out of body experience, I do it when I am super tired and I can barely keep my eyes open. And then I listen to, excuse me, one of the body electrics. I listen to Harmonize has been very awesome. The actual body electric meditation has been able to help get me out of my body. But or listening to Gamma. Sacred Acoustics, I believe is the name of the binaural beats that I listen to. And anything that's able to get your brainwave into a different state. I had that happen when I was taking a nap in my room in my recliner. And I believe it was Delta or Gamma. It's always after lying down from sinking to health. Yeah, right? I was in a sleepy state, and I was able to just shut my mind off and relax, and then all of a sudden, I went unconscious. I didn't realize that I was going unconscious. I just was unconscious. I was completely out. And then I felt like I just all of a sudden got plugged in. I was getting shocked and then I just flew out of my body and then I was all over the place. I tend to scream when I have an out of body experience for some reason and I don't know if it's just because it's like a weird sensation and it's just energy that has to be pulled out of my body. Um I've had a couple where I've woken up at 4 o'clock in the morning and have been flung out of my body and kind of wandered around a little bit, but it's not as concrete as I've heard people say it is. And I don't know if it's just because that's how my brain is wired, but most times it feels like I'm in a dream while also it being real at the same time. And most times I don't have control over what's going on. It's just kind of scenes are just kind of playing out as we go along. And for me with the connection, like a more gentle connection with me with meditating, I get out of my head because I'm one of those, and I know I've mentioned this a few times, I can make myself feel worse and my meditations worse through overthinking. I love overthinking. I love overanalyzing. And it's just because there's parts of the past that just keep kind of popping up in there. and I need to quiet those. And staying present and being in the present has been one of the best ways to, like, work through that. Tarek has said it's definitely very dreamlike for me. I haven't went full on gamma yet. It's fun. But when I'm doing a regular meditation, when I feel myself overthinking, I come back to the present moment. That takes practice. I kept saying to myself for months, stay present, stay present, stay present, be present, stay present. And it took training my brain to become present, to stay present. And when I kind of fluctuate and I get too into my head, I listen to the music. I specifically listen to what Dr. Joe is saying, and I keep bringing myself back to the present moment. And I do that every day too. But I feel the sensations around my body as well. And I can tell when I'm in, like, drifting from beta to alpha to theta, because parts of my body will start to get tingly, or I'll feel different sensations and stuff all throughout my body. And I hate to say the P word, but it's practice. It's all practice and experimenting. For months, I wrote in a notebook, what I was feeling as I was meditating, the different sensations, the different things that were happening, what was going on through my day. I have a journal of over 500 entries on my computer where I log the different things that have happened, looking for different signs, things that are different, how people are showing up differently. I am constantly hopping timelines because people are constantly showing up differently. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. It's good practice for me. Um, it's good practice for all of us, but just being patient with yourself, practicing, trying new things, doing different things. For me, that's what's been the most beneficial with how to kind of stay consistent with these higher levels. And also knowing and realizing that if you've had experiences that you are in a higher level and you can't go back down to thinking in that low state. I talk to my Reiki practitioner, Jen, all the time because I say, I'm concerned about this, I'm worried about this. And she tells me constantly, that can't happen to you anymore. You are vibrating at a higher level. Like, can you please catch up with yourself? Her and my horse trainer are both saying, like, you think you're operating at a kindergarten level, but you're actually at Princeton and Oxford. Like, can you please catch up with yourself? We tend to think we are much lower than where we actually are. Looking at you, Mr. Tarek, you're like the elite of the elite of the elite. Like, you are way the heck up there, my friend. But I hope that answered your question. If anybody else has any more questions, anything else that they want me to elaborate on or talk about, I would greatly appreciate it. Stop. No, you stop. I actually looked into, there's a college in California that they have consciousness as one of their fields of studies. I'm actually getting my PhD and in metaphysical science through the University of Sedona. Hi, Charlie. Which I still have to work on and write my master's, my thesis and my dissertation, but I just haven't had the time to do it. But they actually have like a full like schedule with being able to study consciousness and everything. It's the California Institute of Cosmology, Cosmology. Yes, and it's philosophy, cosmology, and consciousness degree, which is pretty cool. Thanks. Greatly satisfying conversation. Oh, thank you. I'm so happy that was good. I can't play these back and see what I sound like. So I don't know if I'm rambling or not, or if I'm making sense. And I'm kind of just trying to like channel things and say it as I go. So thank you so much. I'm so happy that was satisfying. I'm shutting my door because my dogs are loud. 1 second. Okay. But yeah, it's a whole curriculum. I'm Tarek, seriously. Look up California Institute of it's the consciousness, philosophy, and cosmology. My podcasting boss was doing an interview with a guy who's going to school there, and I so want to do it. I actually signed up December 6th or something like that. They have a Zoom meeting where you can talk about that. And I'm curious to know if I could get like a scholarship or a full ride to get in there, but you can get your master's or your PhD in it, which I think is so cool. Like, to be a doctor of consciousness. How cool would that be? I know it's kind of egoic to put that title on you, especially because, like, we're here to be beings of love and to give love and just I don't know, be there for one another and everything, but it would still just be such a cool title to have something like that. And I'm at the University of Metaphysics, which is located in Sedona. That is Ravenclaw. Yo, dude, look what cup I got out. Look what cup I got out. I got you. It's like I knew you were gonna be here without way before I knew you were gonna be here. But yeah, I go to the University of Sedona, which is self-paced, and I've been in it for about a year. I have my BA in metaphysical science, and I am now working on getting my master's in metaphysical science. My thing is, I have my thesis statement. I don't remember what my thesis statement is. It has to do with meditation, and it's not a matter of writing the paper. Like when I journal every single day because I want to write out everything that's happening. I've been told it's very important for me to document what's going on, just because there are so many different drastic changes happening every single day for me, and I just need to sit and find the idea and the right way to type out this paper, because it would be really cool too if I can turn my thesis statement into like a book down the road. And I guess I could be trying to kill too many birds with one stone. And I might need to scale that back and not be so ambitious, because that's what's stopping me from getting my master's. And then I have a thesis or my dissertation that I have to come up with as well. And again, not a matter of writing. Like I have to read books and I have to pull sources. And of course, most of my books are like Dr. Joe books that I'm going to be pulling for my thesis and dissertation. But I just want it to be a really good paper. But yeah, so getting my master's in metaphysical science and getting my doctorate in metaphysical science is going to be really freaking awesome. So, hello to anybody who's hopping on here, who's new, anybody who's switching out. If you celebrate Thanksgiving, or if you celebrated Thanksgiving already, happy Thanksgiving. If you are somewhere else in the world, please say hello in the chat. I cannot believe people are actually here. I seriously thought that I was going to be alone for a bit. Um, I'm really happy that everyone's here. Again, I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for everybody who has been supportive, for any time you've commented, any time you've subscribed. If you've gotten people to subscribe, I can't tell you how much your support means. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching the videos and everything like that. If anybody has any questions or anything that they would like for me to talk about, please, by all means, fire away. Because if not, you're gonna have to listen to me talk. I can't edit this because again, it's a live thing. I'm here. I'm live, and I'm just gonna ramble and probably won't make much sense. Um, but if not, I'll start going off on another tangent if anybody doesn't have any questions at the moment. Please feel free to say hello. I promise we don't bite. There's amazing people in the chat. Tarek, I don't know if you're still here. He's I had you were my first interview, weren't you? I think you were. Tarek's amazing. He's such a great guy. Um, what I, so I was saying before that I was watching this guy named Kyle Cease. And in the words of Led Zeppelin, ramble on. I love them. Actually, John Bonham and Trey Cool from Green Day were the ones that inspired me to be a drummer when I first started playing the drums when I was in 8th grade, which was such a long time ago. I wish that I would have kept up. But when I used to take drum lessons, I got a Led Zeppelin book, and I would play Misty Mountain Hop, When the Levee Breaks. Oh my gosh, The Ocean. The Ocean is so much fun to play on the drums. So much fun. I've been trying to like sit here and plunk out a couple of songs too. There's a song in my heart that in my time of dying, Bottom, I know. He left way too soon. I have a song in my heart that I've been trying to work on, and it's thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you so much. I hope you have a fantastic day. I oh gosh, my train of thought derailed. Oh my goodness. I have a song in my heart that I'm working on that I really would like to get out into the world. There's a song called "Swim" by Jax Mannequin that I absolutely love. If anybody is having one of those days, one of those moments where you feel like you just can't go on, listen to Swim. It's he said Andrew McMahon, he's Jack's Mannequin is the name of the band, but he says, "Swim for the music that saves you when you're not so sure you'll survive. Just find the horizon. It's not as far as you think." Like I cry every time I hear that song. I had lyrics pop into my head the other day that were like, here I am waiting for it to end, but then I caught 11:11 again. And that phrase just keeps floating in my brain, and I know what the song is gonna be about. It's gonna be about those moments when, like, you're fighting with yourself, you're going against yourself, like you can't I don't wanna say can't stand yourself, but you really are having a hard time with your thoughts. And I want it to be one of those, like, hair stands up on your arms, feeling big surge of energy come through when you think it's the end and you feel like it's impossible, but then you're able to find the strength to stand and get the courage to keep going, even though it's difficult and it's hard. And I have the idea in my head. I've tried sitting here with my little mini keyboard and writing things out, and instead I'm writing out techno beats that belong in some kind of pumping club. I don't know what's up with the disconnect in my brain with all this energy. I keep asking my guides. I'm like, "Can you please switch my cables around? I'm trying to write like a rock ballad, not something that belongs in some kind of like rave somewhere." Though the last beat that I made was really cool. Hey, we're up to 5 people. Hey there, friends. Thank you so much for hopping on. Please say hello. We lost someone. If you have a question, that's energy. Yeah. The energy needs to get like recirculated because, like, I mean, I'm trying. I really am. But it's going to lead me to greater things. I have found with this work that I tuned into my future while listening to Stairway to Heaven. Heart almost exploded. I'll have to try that. Stairway to Heaven plus tuning into your future. That's pretty cool. That sounds like a pretty epic conversation, a pretty epic amalgamation there. But I've learned that as I've been going along and doing this work, the more that you keep trying and you keep putting stuff out there, the more you kind of get directed. It's kind of like if you are this vast big body of water and you start getting like into a narrower and narrower, there we go, point in like a stream, and you kind of get directed to where you're supposed to go. That's what I found with all of this. Like that's what I found with doing this YouTube channel. I feel so bad because people are asking me all the time like, "Hey, can you give me advice?" The best advice I could give you is to just start, because my way of doing it is not the only way, and it's most certainly not the right way. Like I've changed so much since my first set of videos. I mean, I threw music in there. I was trying to make it a big production, and while I would like to make it bigger at some point, it's not about, for me and what I want to put out into the world, it's not about the production. I have to make it look a specific type of way because I want to get people's attention, because what I have to say is important. I want people to hear this, and I, want to be like the friend that, somebody needs. But at the same time, having such a big bombastic production kind of removes from some of the authenticity. And I want my videos to be like this, where like, people are leaving comments. I'm hanging out with my friends, like this is fantastic. It's so great that I get to hang out with you guys. And I want it to be like this feel. This is how I want my videos to be. Well, it might be kind of one-sided because like I'm over here and I can't quite like interact with people, so to speak. I don't know if I can do that on here just yet. That would be really cool. I hope that becomes like a feature or function sometime soon. I want it to be like an intimate setting for when people need to hear something. Again, I love the emails that I keep getting where people are like, "I needed to hear what you had to say today," because it's stuff that I have needed to hear. And why I keep documenting what I'm going through so extensively is because I know that there's bits and pieces and parts that not everybody talks about. And I know that one of my superpowers is being able to explain things and break things down on a level that's kind of digestible for people who sometimes just don't understand, because I've been there. I've been there where I don't get something and then I get a really bad headache because I don't understand it, and I've been, beating this idea to death with my brain. But being able to break it down into bite-sized pieces can, it just makes it a little bit easier and everything. I think there was another point that I was going to be start going off of, and I can't quite remember. I going off and having a whole bunch of different going. So If you want to achieve something, I'm pretty certain I'm going to be talking about this in another video coming up. Thank you so much, Tarek. Thank you so much for stopping by. I love you so much, man. Thank you. You're amazing. Um, if you say you want to make $1 million, you break it down to its simplest form. They say, what's the best way to eat an elephant? One bite at a time. If you want to, you're amazing, Tarek. If you want to make $1 million, all you have to do is sell 1,000 products at $1,000. And there you go. That's your $1 million. I believe that's how the math works. I'm terrible at math, hence why I make YouTube videos. But if you want to do something, so for me, I want to be a musician. How do you become a musician? You break it down into its parts. You learn different instruments. You learn songs that you want to start putting out into the world. You break them down into its simplest form. If you When we go to school and we want to become something, we take the bits and pieces and parts of whatever it is. If you want to do something with math, or you want to be an accountant, for instance, you learn how to do the formulas and the different basic math pieces and components in order to become really good at being an accountant. um Taking things, becoming a YouTuber, finding out how to make YouTube videos, taking topics, researching, seeing what everybody else, not what everybody else is doing, but seeing what everybody else is doing and finding bits and pieces of what has worked for them, what hasn't worked for them, what can I refine, what can I make better, and then making it my own. So if you are looking to do something that you feel to be impossible or big or grand, you know, break it down into its smallest pieces and then get out there and start creating, because then over time you are going to be guided to what works and what doesn't. Making mistakes is one of the biggest things as well, because it's hard to make mistakes. Sometimes it's scary to make mistakes. I know for me personally, I have a hard time making mistakes. And it's in the making of the mistakes that you are able to learn so much about you and so much about yourself. I'm going to be doing a video later on, probably around New Year's, about the biggest thing that I learned about doing 3 Dr. Joe events. And the biggest thing that I have learned from all of this stuff, and the biggest takeaway, I will tell you, the 2 people that are on here, hello, you guys get to hear this ahead of time. The whole secret to all of this is I have really fallen in love with myself and have been able to really feel into me as a person. And when there's chaos and stuff going around me, being able to really hone in on that self-love and being able to feel it fully and completely. And that is honestly one of the biggest things that anybody can ever feel, because, we get told all the time how to be, how to act, what to do. And it's another thing when you're able to procure it by yourself and to look at yourself and be like, wow, like I really love that person, instead of like kind of shutting away, being like, ooh, like, you've got a big chin, you are too fat, you're annoying, all these different things. But being able to really show up and love yourself in spite of, despite anything that you might believe about you. I say this all the time too. I'm fortunate because I take videos of myself, so I get to see myself grow and expand as a person. And I have watched, just like how all of you guys have watched too, my transformation over the past, year. And I keep seeing how much I've changed. And I keep hitting this, sorry. There was a point in time, I think it was last week with one of the videos when I was really going through something and just was really going through heartfelt emotions. And I wanted to like reach through my camera and give myself a hug, because that version of me was hurting. And it felt so nice to be able to be like that, feel like that. There were points and times where I would look in the mirror at myself and I would be like, oh my gosh, like I wouldn't make eye contact with me. And I see how often I do that with people. I don't make eye contact with them sometimes, through, feeling inferior, or through thinking, well, what are they going to think of me? Like, what's their views? What's their opinions? Do they see how crooked my teeth have gotten? Do they see the hole in my thigh I have in one of my teeth? Like, not being able to show up and be that bright light and be me. And something just clicked and shifted within the past week or so. and it's been feeling pretty amazing. And now I'm able to look myself in the mirror and be like, "Oh my gosh, you're such a good-looking human being. Like, look at you doing what you've been dreaming of doing and finally putting yourself out there. And look how many people you are inspiring and look how many lives you are impacting." And it's not from an egoic place at all. It's from a place of you had this dream and now you're able to make this dream come true. Like, that is incredible. That is amazing. Hello to the new friend that has joined us. If you've joined us a while ago, I'm sorry my counter is I think might be a little bit slow. But thank you guys so much again for coming on here saying, "Hey, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave it in the chat. Say hello, tell me where you're from. If you are celebrating Thanksgiving, I hope you are having a happy Thanksgiving. If you are elsewhere, I hope you are having a fantastic day." Thank you guys again so much for all of your love and your support over the past year or so with this channel. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't have an audience and I wouldn't be doing this because people wouldn't be showing up. So I can't thank you guys enough for being here and for being so supportive. I need to find a new topic to ramble on about. I will say that if you are looking to put yourself out there because you have your own story to tell and you have your own things that you want to say, do it. Being vulnerable and authentic is something that not very many people I haven't seen too many channels like that, you know? They're very informative. It's not me saying that there's anything wrong with them. It's more so I like having that authentic feel, and I wanna have that authentic feel with my audience. Like I always say, I wanna be like, like a friend on a day when you need it most. Like I this is such a cool way to communicate with you guys, and I've made so many amazing friends through this channel. Growing up, I had a very hard time keeping friends because I had a hard time with me being able to, express how I was feeling. Just the environment that the environment I was in was just not, the best. So I didn't know how to communicate. For me, communicating was shutting down and yelling because that's all I knew. But being able to now tell my story to then, hopefully share with other people that it's okay and that they're not alone, you know, people love hearing that kind of stuff. People love the authentic feel and feeling like they're being heard. So if you are looking to tell your story, I highly recommend getting out there in some way. Be vulnerable, be authentic. I've cried so many times on this channel. Like I've gotten, some of my core wounds talking the other day about being angry when I was doing the rising meditation. Like I was just so done with this feeling and so over myself that I needed it to go. I wanted it to go. And not being angry or mad at myself for feeling angry, because I time and time again, growing up, I'd be told like, "This is all your fault. It's because you're feeling this type of way. You're driving people away." And it's like, yes, well, I understand that. That's not fixing my problem. There's something bigger going on here that I need to work with. And being able to sit and want the change for myself to cultivate that inner peace has been fantastic. If anyone who was on here earlier, I apologize because I'm going to be repeating myself a little bit here. I've been really getting into Kyle Cease lately, and he's been talking. He talks a lot about staying present, and I know Dr. Joe talks a lot about staying present. And the way that Kyle Cease was able to kind of wrap it up a little bit and explain being present has really changed my perspective. I was listening to a talk with him yesterday about letting go of all of your problems, just letting go of everything. And I was taking my dogs for a walk. And I just kept thinking to myself, like, stay present, stay present. All you have is this present moment. Who cares what somebody did to you, a couple of weeks ago, a couple of months ago, a couple of years ago? We know it's all programming. It's all we respond. We've created a mood and a temperament and all these different beliefs because something happened to us a long time ago. And just being able to stay present. And if something were to come up, just be like, it's okay. Like, I forgive that. I forgive that part of myself. I forgive that person. And while I was staying present, a lot of you guys know that I love foxes. I've got my shrine to foxes all over here. As I was walking my dogs, I felt Charlie like lurch forward, and I was like, "What the heck's going on?" And I looked over, and there was a fox that went running across a neighbor's yard, and I thought that that was really cool. If I was staying present, to me, being able to stay present, like that was the universe's way of being like, "Hey, here you go. Here's a little thing for you. Here's a fox because you love foxes, and you take that as a sign that everything is going really well." Hello to the new friends that have popped on. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, we lost someone. This is so awesome. I really think I'm going to do more of these. I need to figure out how to make this a little bit better and not so all over the place with questions and things like that. If anybody has any questions that they would like for me to answer, please feel free to leave it in the little chat thing over here. Please say hello. I promise we don't bite. Everyone here is so friendly and so nice. Um, Staying present, meditations. I have been hopping timelines a lot lately where like things appear as one way and then all of a sudden time shifts and things are totally different. I'm different, the people I'm interacting with are different, and I'm still trying to pinpoint how the heck that happens. When I go for my Reiki sessions, a lot when I come out of the sessions, I tend to feel like I'm in a whole new timeline. Like things just aren't the same as they were when I first started this year, obviously. But it is really cool seeing how you can shift to different timelines. There's it's not a theory because I'm really certain that it's like a real thing. We flicker. There's no such thing as a solid object. If you were to look at it through a microscope, all these different atoms and neurons and whatever stuff, a little sciencey names for everything. Everything moves, everything vibrates. If you look at a dead body, it's not actually a dead body. It is actually moving. It's breaking down. There's little organisms in there that are breaking it down. And oh gosh, train of thought derailed. Oh my gosh, sorry guys. We're all moving timeline. So we also flicker. We are flickering super, super fast. You really can't see it, but there is a moment where we're here and then we're not here. And that is kind of like our vibration. When we're trying to, if we're listening to a radio, who listens to the radio anymore? And you're dialing in a different channel, like sometimes you get the frequency, sometimes you don't get the frequency. That's kind of like what the flicker is. And we flicker so fast that it can't be seen, and we flicker towards different, I call them boxes. So you've got different outcomes. Say we'll go with money, for instance. You've have abundance, and then you have lack of abundance, or not being, financially well off. However you feel and whatever vibration you're vibrating at is where you're going to flicker to, because that's, the vibration that you're being matched to. It's kind of like those matching games where, like, you flip over different cards and, like, you flip over a star and then you flip over a square. That's not a match. You flip over a star and then you flip over a star again. That's a match. The whatever you're feeling, you've got the match to. So say you're trying to get to the abundance box and that's a star and you keep flipping up squares. You have to flip up a star in order to match with that vibration. Same thing with if you keep going for, the poverty box. If that's a circle and you keep flipping up circles, you're going to keep flipping up to the circle and that's where you're going to be vibrating to. So, as you flicker, that's where the whole good thoughts come in, and it's genuinely feeling the good thoughts, and I have found with me that if I can't procure a good thought, I immediately go neutral or I go to sleep. Because if I'm not thinking, then I'm not putting myself in different boxes or putting myself accidentally, you know, attracting an outcome that I don't want to have happen. I have self-sabotaged relationships in that way so many times where I have been so focused on this outcome that I don't want to have happen, that I accidentally have it happen. Thankfully, I've been able to recover from most of them. Some of the relationships just weren't meant to come back through. But for the most part, I've been able to salvage a good portion of my relationships. I'm going through something right now where I had the relationship ending in a specific way, but I've been able to kind of reel that back in and have it change, and it's actually now working out a little bit better. I talking to my Reiki practitioner again, she's just helped me so much with so many things. I am a perfectionist. We all know this. And everything has to be perfect. And if somebody like falters a little bit or doesn't show up the way that I'm expecting them to, I kind of catastrophize. I think that's the right word to use, everything. And when I do that, I immediately self-sabotage and I'm like, "Okay, well, this is the way that it's going to go because it didn't happen this way." What am I doing? I'm not leaving stuff up for the unknown. Like, the unknown's like, "Okay, she's got it taken care of. We're not helping her." No. And just because somebody's responding in a particular type of way doesn't mean that the situation is gonna play out the way in which I think. And it's keeping yourself consistent and being that stronger and that higher vibration is what's going to bring the situation together and is what's going to bring you to, the best outcome for everybody and for yourself specifically. That's been a tough one and a hard pill to swallow for me when things just aren't like working out because things are always working out. They're just showing you different parts of you that need work. And I know for me, the past 2 weeks, especially post the eclipse that we had, I don't know if anybody else has been feeling this type of way, but like the energy has been absolutely insane. Things are finally now starting to kind of like settle down a little bit, thankfully. um, but yeah. So guys, thank you so much for hopping on here. I think I'm gonna end this for right now. I might hop back on in a half hour, give or take. But this was a very successful live. I had a lot of people on here. We had a lot of good chats and stuff. I don't know if I can put this on. I might make this a video. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, friend, thank you so much for being here. I can't wait to talk with you guys again. And until then, just promise me you'll keep singing. Okay, friend?